Well, let's get the views of entrepreneur Gbenga Ogunbowale, who joins us from Ibadan, Oyo State, on the news hour to talk about the role of government now in entrepreneurial development. Thanks, Gbenga, for joining us on TVC News Hour. How do
Thank you
you
very much for having
react
me.
to the role, to the support the average youth or the average entrepreneur has gotten from the government in building his business and, supporting the economy somehow?
Okay, I think that the level of support is very low, very, very low. Because an average entrepreneur in Nigeria is a local government. As an entrepreneur, you have to provide your own power. You have to figure out how to dispose of waste yourself. You have to figure out how to provide basic infrastructure that is supposed to be provided by the government. So that is, I mean, if you're asking how I'm going to rate the government, I'm going to rate the government very, very low on business support. There are quite a number of entrepreneurs who need funds from the government. You know, some of them need just a little bit of money in terms of loans. Some people need grants, but this support is not forthcoming. So in terms of how I'd rate the government on supporting entrepreneurs, I'd rate the government very, very low.
All right, Gbenga, no doubt entrepreneurship, especially here in Nigeria, comes with a lot of challenges. But let's get practical now. On your end, from your end rather, tell us some of the challenges you've encountered since you became an entrepreneur and how you've been able to really surmount them.
Okay, so the first challenge for me is power. Power is critical because, you know, as a digital marketing firm, you know, we have laptops. Laptops are very, very key, internet access. We need to be online. We need to work using our systems every single hour. So power is critical. Now, where do you get power? When, you know, you only have power for a few hours a day. And so we basically spend a lot of money on gen. But in order to balance that, how we've been able to cope is we have inverters, big inverters and power banks that help us minimize costs, so that when there's power, we charge our inverters, and when there is no power, we switch to them before we switch to our generator. So our generator is like the last option first, and that way we're able to conserve cost a little bit. So power, yes, power is a really big issue. Another issue is getting the required skill set, getting the required manpower. I must tell you that even though we talk about unemployment being a big problem in Nigeria, a bigger issue is unemployability. I have practically seen CVs that nearly made me cry. When we want to recruit at ePower, it's like a battle because you have a lot of CVs, people finishing with first class 2-1, very excellent grades on paper, but call them for an interview, ask them a simple question like, can we meet you? And they begin to ask you jump questions like, can we meet you? How do you expect the interviewee to explain what the simple question, can we meet you, means? So yeah, we have a really serious issue. Apart from the role of the government, unemployability is an issue. We need more youth who are competent, who can see beyond classes. Because if the only thing you do as a student is you just go to class and you finish with good grades, I tell you, you've not started. So yes, that is a big issue, unemployability. We need more youths with skills that are relevant, skills that are needed. And we also need more youths who can sell themselves.
And then Gbenga, let's even talk about how we can solve this competence death now. Where, unless if I'm wrong now, I won't be surprised if you say you learnt your skills now, from the streets. Pardon that language now, and not from the usual four walls of an institution. I hope you get my point. So how has this also impacted on the problem of competency among the youth?
Okay, so that is also a major issue because a lot of our schools, university polytechnics, basically what they do is they teach, the only thing they teach is the course itself. And even when I say the course, some of our lecturers are using materials from 1986, 1990, the materials they used when they were students.
Apologies there, Gbenga Ogunbowale making an excellent point. Now we understand he's back. Gbenga, please carry on.
Yes, I'm with you.
Carry on, please. You were making a point earlier.
All right, yes. So our schools are not grooming our students, for the workplace. So for instance, how I dealt with that was that I worked on myself. I basically got a lot of books, I went to the internet to read. So on the part of the schools, yes, there is a lot of work to be done in education. Our students need to be groomed for the future workplace. It's not enough to teach people physics, chemistry, and mathematics. People need to be taught about how to apply for jobs, about how to package CVs, and about the future workplace, because the world is is going digital. It's not enough, for you to be an analog genius. I mean, that's outdated. So the schools have a role to play. Also, the youth have a role to play, because you cannot wait for the Ministry of Education to do something. You cannot wait for your lecturers to take action. You have to take responsibility for your life. I mean, right about now, the internet is accessible to everybody. The average youth subscribes every single month. So really, you have no excuse. Actually, the total number of excuses, total number of excuses an average Nigerian youth has is 0. That is because you have to take charge of your life. That is not to exonerate the government or exonerate the lecturers, but I'm saying that we have to look at this from a balanced point of view.
Gbenga, on the flip side, there is the idea that many youths are interested, even though they are also interested in the digital developments and focusing on internet ideas and all that. They are more focused on the entertainment side and things that may not be geared towards economic developments, so to speak. So how can we begin to tilt that attention to more developmental ideas gearing from the internet and from digital knowledge as well?
Okay, so you've raised a very valid point, especially about youth being more interested in music, in entertainment generally, and you really cannot blame these youths. I mean, think about the fact that a lot of companies want to support programs like Big Brother Nigeria, programs, like that, Project Fame or something. More companies want to support entertainment, right? They would rather put 40 million in that than support, say, a math competition or so. Youths basically gravitate towards where the money is, which is why it's easier for a youth without values, to pick up the laptop and say, yeah, who's the next thing I want to do? Because, I mean, youths are tired of hearing, that we're the leaders of tomorrow and all of that. They're tired of hearing that. They're tired of seeing, big men with pot bellies drive big cars. They want the money now. So part of the issues we have to face is how can we make education attractive? So there are so many, facets to this. The big institutions, private sector needs to put more attention towards deliberately supporting education, because these are the same companies that complain about the quality of the graduates we have in the society, but yet you don't support education. So how then do you expect the graduates that you're not supporting to contribute meaningfully to your companies? So the private sector needs to wake up. We cannot keep pouring millions into education, into entertainment, neglecting education, and expecting competent graduates to come out. But if graduates know that if I finish, with a good grade and I'm a competent graduate, if I finish with that I will get a good job or I have a good chance to start a business, I'm telling you that people will tilt towards entrepreneurship and they would acquire the right skills. So the first thing is we need to make that, yes.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid we have to end this because we have run out of time. Thank you very much, Gbenga, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All the way from
Thank you so much.